So what we have done so far was to read data in JSON and XML. Now we want to perform create, update, and delete operations. Oops. So this is for creating a new item. So controller method will send, the client will send HTTP post request, and then controller method should be able to handle that post request. So here the post body should contain the new item that will be created, and we want to receive that newly created item in the form of JSON or XML. So what we need to do is we're going to actually have a method called, in this case, create, and we are going to receive the data in the form of response body. Request body. So when we say request body and we want to convert it into person object, and we also perform JSR 303 validation. And we also want to actually consume. So the data could be either JSON or XML. So we should be able to receive data coming from the client either in the form of JSON or XML. And here basically we add the person to the new person list, and then we return. So when you create a new item, typically what you want to do is you need to actually send back HTTP 201 successfully created. So that is the reason we want to use response status method with HTTP status created. You can just use the 201 if you want to as the number, but this is the enum value, right? And also, if you want to return the actual data, the actual person that gets created as a return value, then we could also return person, and then we can say response body. So this is for creating a new item. Okay. Okay, so updating an existing item. So in this case, we are going to handle put request. So put body should contain the data. Again, in this case, JSON or XML that will be used to update the data. So it should be a method that handles put method, and the URL should be entry URI, and I should consume JSON and XML. And basically in this case we are receiving an ID request body. Again, we are receiving the person data that will be used to update data with a request body. So we actually receive it as a new person, and we are going to get the old person first by performing get operation on this the array list, the list of object, and then we are just changing the value of first name last name with the first name and last name of the new person, and then we add it back, and then you basically return the newly added person data to the client as well. So that is updating the existing item. And deleting an item is pretty simple. Basically all you have to do is just make sure we have a method that handles delete method, and basically we just remove the user from the list, and then we are returning the remaining list of the people to response body. Okay, so that is create, update, and delete. So let's see exercise 3. So we are going to create a new person first. So we're going to create a person, update a person, and delete the person. So let's do create a new person first. So here we are going to actually add another method. We're going to actually add create a new person method and update one method and delete method. Okay. So again, this is pretty much what I explained through the slide. So here we should consume, meaning we should be able to either consume JSON or XML, and then the data that is coming from the client will be captured as a person object. So we have to use the response request body annotation to make sure the data in the request body is converted into person object. Okay, this is the update one, and this is a delete one. So I'm gonna just copy all this code and add somewhere. Okay, just add somewhere, and delete one as well. Okay, and make sure we have imported class, and then we are going to save the change. We start the application, and then we should be able to now perform. First of all, let's actually see all the people at this point. We should have 5 people. Okay, so let's actually do the call. So we should have 5 people at this point. Now we're going to create a new person. Now if you are trying to do this notation, it might not actually work. So let's basically the X is post, and this is header. The header is, in this case, content type is going to be JSON, and the data that I want to use is this data, and then this is the URL. Okay, I found that this is not working, so we'll actually use so this is the problem I get. I don't know why I get the bad request. Okay, but what works is that you created a test file JSON. So create a test file JSON. So I'm going to create the test file JSON. Actually, I provided this test file JSON in your lab, so we can actually go to that. So go to the here, and oh, okay, I guess I didn't create the test file. So okay, so I'm going to just create one. So use whatever editor of your choice, and I'm gonna call it, it's a test file JSON. Test file JSON. And then just copy that test file JSON into so copy the person you want to create. So I want to create a person, Yom Yam. Okay, strange name, but that's what I came up with. So that is the test JSON file, and now you should be able to actually specify the name of the file using -d and then @ and test file JSON. That should work fine. So I'm going to actually try like this, and that worked fine. Yeah, it returned, oh, internal, so it didn't work. So 500 error. So oh, unsupported operation exception. Okay, so it doesn't. So let me see. We have a test file JSON. Test file JSON is there, and let's actually make sure that we have create a new person here, and it should actually support both JSON and XML. So why it says unsupported operation created? Okay, so it's there. So let me just restart the application one more time, and run as and Java application. Yeah, so I think it's a matter of actually adding this code, and that should be it. And so let's actually try one more time here. So it should be post content type JSON, and we have a test file JSON, and let me just make sure we have a test file JSON. Okay, so that's good. And let's see, let's just make sure that we have still so we still have 5 people. Okay, now let's actually try to run this guy one more time. So it's a post, and content type is application/JSON, and the data file is test file JSON, which I have it here, and then URL is localhost 8080 and people. So that should work. Why? Okay, so somehow I got internal 500 internal error, and it says So it says unsupported operation exception. That means somehow the there is no, it's almost like, yeah, so I'm gonna actually do let's actually do the debugging. So I am going to see whether this method, yeah, so I don't, yeah, so even if I make a breakpoint, it looks like it's having some issues in terms of and person is first name, last name, and